A very good morning to all fellow engineers. This groups, thank you for your time and welcome to our webinar titled Cloud Digitalization's Transformations for Constructions on Project Cost and Quality Management by our speaker today, Mr. Tan Lu Tun. Mr. Tan Lu Tun graduated with bachelor degrees in computer science, information technology in University Technology of Malaysia in the year of 2005, with 18 years of working experience in informations and communication technologies ICT industry. Now he is a Chief Technology Officer in New Ace. He started his career as software developer and moved up to solutions architect and software project management roles, actively involved in solution design and software development on many enterprise application projects in Malaysia, Southeast Asia, and China. In the year 2019, he started up a new IT called New Ace with his few partners to develop the software as a service SaaS constructions marketplace with project budgeting and project progress management system, with the ambitions to help construction company in Malaysia and Southeast Asia to onboard on the digitalization era. Before we start our webinar, is a reminder for all that if you have any questions to our speaker, there's a question button you can click and input your question there. Without further delay, we would like to invite our speaker to share his sharings. All right.
Hi, thank you, our organizer. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Good morning, everyone. So happy to be in these presentations, the sharing section to all of you. I believe most of you are from an engineer background. Everyone are in a construction backgrounds. Okay, so hope today's presentation useful to you all. Okay, so yeah, so a bit of background on myself. My name is Tan Lu Tun. Okay, I'm actually graduated in UTM Malaysia. I have more than 18 years actually, more than 18 years working experience in the ICT industry because I'm actually started as the software developments once I graduated, and then from there I'm actually involved into a few large enterprise software development that time for the Malaysia's some of the Malaysia big companies, including telecoms, Proton Ada Malaysia, all those ERM solutions, large inventories solutions. Okay, after that I moved myself into the solution architect to design, to make use of my software development skill to design, involved in the design and develop the software. Okay, so and at the same time later I will also have a chance to involve in other application in not just Malaysia but Southeast Asia and China. Okay, one of it is the delivery system for one of the largest F&B in the regions. Okay, so in 5 years or 6 years back, 2019, I've actually started an IT company together with my partners. Okay, so we have a few friends that team out together. We focus on the development of the software as a service for the construction industry. Okay, so a little bit I will start with introduce a little bit on the SaaS software. Okay, and to let everyone know that, because I think this SaaS software as a service is a very popular wording, and you can see everywhere nowadays. Okay, and yeah, today is the topic is all about like digitalizations. Okay, I will share a few key technology that is currently available in the digital world. Okay, it's more all about technologies. Okay, and we will start with some of the introduce on the software as a service. After that, I will share a bit on the blockchain, how blockchain works. Okay, this blockchain is not for the Bitcoin, but it's all from the for traceability for the construction industries. Okay, and then after that, I will also share a bit on the IoT, Internet of Things, and also AI, how these two technology being implemented into the construction industry. And lastly, we'll be sharing some of the use cases that we have built or we actually are proposing or currently working in POC, some of the use case that leveraging on this technology in the construction industry. So that will be more interesting part for everyone, I believe. Okay, so this will be the few things that I will be covers. Okay, so so far no question. I move on. Okay. Okay, digitalization is actually the future of the construction industry. And nowadays, everyone's are talking about digitalization. All the construction company that previously are not still in traditional ways, currently all talk about digitalization. I think that's also thanks to the COVID pandemics, and this make everyone realize that the importance of digitalization. Okay, because you before pandemics, when we approached many of the developers or the crane contractors to talk about digitalization, they are still hesitates. But during the pandemics, they actually everyone is work from home. So and they realize that okay, everything need to be submitted online. If not, then even your progress claim, your payment are not able to submit. Okay, so that's the things, and now they're already getting familiar and used to it to the digitalization submission things online, submit drawing online, submit claim, progress claim online, and then get everything certified, revise everything online. All those is all about digitalization leverage on the tools. Okay, so software as a service. This is the core, one of the core product in our company, which I think is useful to share with everyone. Okay, the concept for the software as a service is actually we are actually a software house, a software technology company who created a software that is trying to standardize and common use by all the companies. For example, our company own product is actually a construction project management tools. So it's actually suitable for all the contractor, main con developers, and also the home buyers. All those are user. They can actually subscribe and use into the platform. They don't need to host themselves. We are actually hosting from them. We take care of the solution for them. Okay, they just subscribe, they use it, and then use it along the way. They actually have any technical support. They need to have any change requests, new changes. They can actually feedback to the development team. The development team will able to solve it and enhance. After that, release it and then back to the platform for everyone benefits. That's the good thing for the software as a service. You don't need to have a heavy investment on the solution. You choose, you can evaluate a solution whether it's suitable for you, because most of the time the software as a service software is already completed, developed, and have all the core function that you are required. So you will able to just pay on it, and then you can use it. Then you can actually also subscribe. Normally you will subscribe to the minimum package to start from pilot for one of few projects, and you found that it's useful, then you can scale it up. Then you can upgrade your package to the highest one with more storage, more securities in place, support more user. That is the concept of the software as a service lah. So now a lot of softwares are moving towards here, because I think business user or the end user will actually need to focus on their day-to-day work. For example, the developer, contractor will need to do their work is actually to get the project up and running, working, and deliver the construction on time. So the software, how to take care of the software, that one will leave to the platform owners to take care of that. So that's the beauty of the software as a service. Okay, so there's a few benefits on that. As I mentioned just now, it's cloud-based. So you can access from everywhere. Nowadays, a lot of things are using mobile apps. Everyone like mobile apps because you can actually install into the phone. Even it's offline or you are in a low signal, low connectivity, you can still able to do everything in offline and then sync it out when you get better connectivities. So that is suitable for the construction site as well. So most of the software as service, they should have all these criteria to be a cloud-based, cost-effective, because you can actually subscribe and use first. Then you scale it up, you choose the higher package along the way when your usage getting more. Okay, then it helps to collaborate everyone. Okay, so like our product, our solution, we are actually able to cater for link up all the main contractor, subcontractors, developers, everyone into a single platform. Okay, nowadays they like to be make it collaboration. I think I do my own work, you do your own work. So for example, to a main contractor, they are actually responsible to do the construction work, and then every month they need to submit the claim. They are the one who key in the claim amount to the developers. So the developers, when they receive it, they don't need to rekey again already. So they actually can receive it, they can look at it, and if anything that they need to be changed or asked to revise, they can actually turn back the documents to back to the main console. It's actually everyone is actually have their own login. They go into the platform and then do their work day to day, and then they submit to each other. So everyone just key in those data that is relevant to them. So that also make things more accurate, because there is no rekey in data entry works. It's actually you want to claim how many, you key in how much. Then the other side is their responsibility to certify. Then they actually input their certified quantity. So, but everything is in the same screen. You can see everyone's. That's the collaboration, and that is actually create more values from this collaboration. Okay, so SaaS platform compare with all those traditional system, which you have to host it yourself. Normally, last time I can remember, I think many companies they have their own data server room. There's one room and install a full of Acons, and you can put a few big computer inside, and then you host everything yourself. But I think moving forward, that has the limitation on that. Okay, because SaaS platform normally is cloud is scalability. So you can actually, the server side, the server spec, you can actually scale it up easily. Okay, when your project get big, more and more, and then more user coming in, and then if you notice that your processor is not enough, then you can scale it. Because cloud, to scale a server, you don't need to buy, you just need to you need to restart. Once you restart, I think you can easily doubles up your servers. And that is one thing. At the same time, you can actually turn on additional servers to cater for the workload. I think everyone should have experience in purchase Asia ticket last time. Okay, so whenever there's any promotion, they would expect to have a significant surge on the usage. So with the cloud, you can actually during the specific timing, you can actually easily scale out for a few instance just to cater the workload. For example, in construction, if let's say there is a tenders that is calling during that period, you can actually, you expect that 2 weeks will have many people are submitting the tenders, upload document, you would expect to be the usage will be searched out. Then you can actually turn on during that periods. Then after finish already, then you can scale it down first. Okay, and the cloud is actually charged per use per hours, so you can actually control your cost more cost efficient. Okay, that also give you a flexibility on managing your cost and the usage. Okay, and then it actually resolve the redundancy. Okay, you don't need to worry about whether your data is already backed up or not. And then the cloud, the SaaS platform is actually come with redundancy. You can actually auto backup, and then some is actually even you can replicate it into a different region. For example, Amazon cloud, which is one of the very famous or biggest cloud platform in the world. Okay, they have actually many servers in different regions. Like the closer to Malaysia is Singapore. So but every data you install into Singapore, you can actually there is also option to replicate into a different region. For example, you need to replicate a copy in the US region, you can do that. Okay, that is redundancy. And multi-tenancy is actually able to support different user, different company. So you can actually transfer the cost to each of the company, because every company that working as a silo, they can actually you can charge them, they can based on their usage. For example, our digital platform, the developers will pay for their usage, and then the main contractor will also pay for their usage. That is what is called multi-tenancy. Everyone in the system is actually, you rent a space, you use the facility, you use certain storage, you pay for the function and the storage that you are using. That is also the beauty of the SaaS platform. This is actually trying to share with you the comparison between the SaaS platform versus the traditional software, which is you have to host yourself. You have a server room. Every data you store into your site. Even the contractor who work with with you, they actually also storing the data actually inside your server. Okay, so the responsibility, everything go back to you already. So that will be the trend for the futures to moving to the SaaS platform. Okay, so that's a little bit on the sharing on the software as a service, which is what my companies are doing. So I'm just trying to share these are the features and also the function that is and the benefits on this platform. Okay, I believe that is not it's actually very common now. So so far any question from everyone? Or okay, anyone, if you have any question, you can type into the chat room. Okay, if not, then I probably move on to the next topic, which is more even more interesting, which is the blockchain. Okay, so I will share a bit on the blockchain. I think blockchain, everyone's heard about it. Okay, so probably some really, when we talk about blockchain, we talk about cryptocurrency. Actually, it's not just from the cryptocurrency. It's actually you can use it, the technology, into all the day-to-day solution system that we are really using it nowadays, especially in the project management. You can use blockchains as well. That you can leverage on some of the archive features that available in come together with the blockchains, which I will share later. Okay, but before that, let's share a little bit on the blockchain, how it works. I believe that everyone heard before. I think we just do a recap on that. So blockchain is actually like a ledger, okay, accounting ledger. Every records, every transaction that happens is actually right into the chain, into a block, and then they will link it up. That's why they call it a blockchain. So all the records is actually transaction that happen in the system. It actually right into the system, into the block. Okay, that's including on the changes, because a lot of time people will think about what's the difference between blockchains and traditional database. Because blockchain is supposed to store data, and then database is also supposed to store data. But what's the difference? That is go back to the technology. So for database, you write a record into the row. For example, you just imagine it's like Excel. You write one record into one transaction in one row. So when there is sometimes you need to change on the data, okay, then you can change, just go to the columns and change the value. Let's say like previously is 1000, you change to 2000, you change it. So with that, the new number immediately everyone will see is 200. Nobody will know that actually from 100 to 200. But in blockchain, you can't change anything on the records. Every time changes, you are actually writing a new records into the block, which means that you can actually know that previously it's actually 100. Now there is another transaction to ask to change it to from 100 to 200. That's the ledger concept. Every time you want to change data, is actually a new transaction that recorded into the blockchain, so that everything's happened, you will know. Okay, so that's the technology that enforce the thing, because technology is not allow you to change things. It makes you to be every transaction you want to change, you will create a new transaction inside there. So that is the beauty on the blockchain and how secure is it. Okay, so how it works when the user requests to make a transaction, okay, or record something. For example, let's say like today want to submit a progress claim worth 20,000. Okay, then he submitted this transaction 20,000. Okay, what is the date? Who requested it? And then this data will store into the new block. Okay, store in the new block, and this new block will need to be broadcast to the whole blockchain network. So a blockchain, you can you cannot start with just one server. At least two server running separately. Okay, you need to have a two or more than two instances that we call it. You can imagine as a server. Okay, you need to have two server, and these two servers supposed to be located into a different environment, different place. So when you write into the one server, it actually forced to broadcast to another server and store the same transaction inside there. Okay, so once it is successfully stored, then it actually consider writing into the network. And then later on, when you found that I want to make a changes on this amount, so I actually create another transaction to say that okay, I want to make this payment search from 20,000 to 30,000. So this transaction will need to write in the new block and broadcast into the different nodes. Okay, then it will only successfully write into the block. So you see the how it works is actually increase the traceability, because every changes you can see the number is actually changed from which number to another number. So that is increased traceability. That is one of the key benefit if you implement blockchain. Always you can trace back the value, how is it changes, what is the history on this transaction happen. The second thing is actually tamper proof, which means that the data that you write into the block, you cannot there's no way for you to delete, because it's actually a chain. So once you delete it, then the whole things become corrupted already. So you can't really go into the data, specific data, and say that I want to just change the value. You can't do that. In the traditional database, you change it. If you can manage to hack into the database, you can just go inside and change the value. But in the blockchain, once you change, you can. If you change, then the whole blocks it will be corrupted. So that also doesn't make your purpose already, because by right somebody try to hack into it is to want to change the value. But if you hack into it, you change the value, the whole thing doesn't work, then you actually destroy everything. That is prevent that nobody will want to go and directly change, because you cannot change, but you actually spoil the whole block. And because of the blockchain must be at least two server. So even you manage to hack into one server, the other server will still have a copy. So which means that even you destroy one server, there is another server still keep all the transaction inside there. So you will also very difficult to hack something, or you want to destroy something, or you want to change anything. You can't do that. Okay, so that is how a blockchain works. Hopefully it's looks a bit technical, but hopefully everyone can understand a bit. Okay, so yeah, this is some of the diagram that further explain how the transaction works. Okay, so for example, you created some transaction records. They actually need to be broadcast into all the different servers, a few servers, and then actually it will write into the block. Okay, block is actually a record by records, and actually every block, the last column is actually a unique ID, and this ID is considered signature. So this signature is actually will encrypted together with your data and then generate a new ID, and this ID will use from the next records. So whatever that there's changes on the value, then this ID will no longer valid. It will make the whole change destroy. So that is also one thing that we make it cannot change. If you change, it will actually destroy the whole blockchain, and you destroy the whole blockchain, then the whole things cannot use. But you can only destroy, even you destroy the whole blockchain into your individual server, there's always have a second or the third servers that is also having the same transactions, same record. So basically we can actually retrieve from the other side. Okay, so that is how blockchains work. Okay, that's why these are some of the benefits, features that come together in the blockchain. So when the solutions that we talk about, we are using blockchain, immediately these are everything automatically in place, because we know that blockchain is actually a distributed ledger. You actually have a different copy into a few server. It can't be just one server. That is in order to set up the blockchain, you must have more than one servers. store the blockchain data, and then it actually automatically comes with the security features. Because of the nature of the blockchain, you can not change the value inside directly. You can only create a new transaction to tell that the system that you want to change. Okay, so you always have a record. So security is already there, and then immutability. You can't just go and change a particular value because you will destroy the whole blockchain. Okay, that is make it more decentralized system. Okay, and decentralized here is means that just now remember I say blockchain normally at least need to have more than one server. Basically, you have two servers, and these two server is actually supposed, most of the ideal way is actually these two servers supposed to be hosted in two different parties. For example, the system, let's say like you actually integrate different company. Okay, for example, a main con and the subcon, they want to work together. By right, they will be, the main con will have one servers, and then the subcon will have, the developer will have another server. So they are actually two different applications, but actually certain data is actually referred to the same blockchain's records. So that is the things that they are stored and decentralized. So when you access the data, you don't need to direct access to people's system. You actually access to your own system and talk to your own blockchain's data. Okay, and this blockchain data is the one that automatically synchronized between the two instances. So that's make everyone, you can have your own system, you can develop your own system for your own logic based on your requirement, but the data wise is actually sharing across the network. So everyone, you can refer to the same network. Whatever that you write the data into your own network, your blockchain, it will actually replicate to another blockchain, and the other side will actually able to see the data. Okay, that is how they call it a decentralization. This is one of the very common words in the blockchain projects. Okay, and then consensus is actually those algorithm. Blockchain is not just storing data; they actually also able to store the code, the execution code, or the algorithm. For example, how you want to approve a transaction. This transaction, for example, this transaction need to be, you need to check to ensure that the value, the previous claim need to be less than the current claim, and then the amount must be within the budget. You can have a few criteria that you need to check, and then this logic, you can code it into the coding of the algorithm, and this algorithm is actually can store it into the blockchain. Okay, so when it's stored in the blockchain, it actually replicate into other instances. Everyone will know that, okay, the rules that you approve the transaction is this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this criteria. And when every submission that fulfill this criteria, you automatically approve this transaction already, without you need a human to check on that, because system can actually automate it. And system, because of the logic algorithm is stored in the blockchain, everyone is approved that, okay, agree, we want to fulfill these 5 criteria in order to release the payment. Then when it's really fulfilled, it's automatically release the payment, or automatically approve it. So that also one of the things that you create a trust to other party, because the other party will only know that as long as I fulfill these 5 criteria, you must approve it already, because this is transparent. The logic to approve things will be transparent to everyone, and it's actually stored in the blockchain. You cannot easily change. If you want to change with the new criteria, new rules, then you need to be update the algorithm and then get both sides approved before it can actually write into the blockchain and get executed. So that is why another topic that later we will touch on is actually smart contract. What is smart contract? I think some of the people understand smart contract as a storage to store the contract or to sign the contract, which is not partially, it's just partially correct. But most of the time, the smart contract here means is actually a contract can be executed, which means that when I sign a contract, I agree that how should I approve and release the payment, for example. So that's that rules actually write into the algorithm and store into the blockchain. So all the subsequent transaction, you can actually follow the agree algorithm to okay. So in an upcoming slide is actually talk about share a little bit on all the features in detail. Distribution ledger, which one is you store into the different store the same record you will store into at least more than one server. So there's you can't change it. You it's actually stored into the network. Every servers will have a copy of the data. Okay, and then decentralized make it transparent, quick response because everyone can have your own system. Okay, can have your own system, but you when you want to access to the data that is sharing, then you can actually access to the direct to the blockchain to retrieve the data or write the data into the block. Then the data will immediately synchronize to others people's system. Okay, consensus algorithm. Just now I mentioned the smart contract where you can put in all your agree criteria in your contract into the algorithm stored into the digitally so that it can follow your rules to execute it. Okay. Security blockchain come to automatically with the encryption. Okay, so encryption of data. So immediately all the data they store inside will be encrypted. That's why one of the things the blockchain storage versus the traditional data storage is blockchain will be you will store data in a redundancy. You will have at least the same data you will have stored into a different way. So the storage will be more the cost of the storage will be higher. Okay, and also the data because all the data is must be encrypted, so it's also make it more the data will be bigger. So and the server processing will need to be higher. So in terms of cost wise, it will be more higher than the normal database, but it comes with the features that increase traceability and trust. Okay, so that's why every system they are not everything goes into blockchain. Selected most of the transaction data that is not finalized one normally will be still in the traditional database, but those value that is actually approved or certified final values, then only it will be right into the blockchain. And then for the traceability or sharing or recording purposes. So there will be always a hybrid between a traditional database and also a blockchain. It should not be a system that is that everything locked into the blockchain. That will be very expensive. That is one thing. And then second one is actually it will be a bit slow because when everything you need to write into the blockchain, the time to recording in it will be slower than the traditional database. Okay, so when you write one record, you won't notice it because it's actually still talk about millisecond. But when you have a very heavy transaction, you can see the significant differences on that. So that's why it will not be every transaction will need to record into the blockchain. Okay, so immutability. Okay, you cannot change it because when you change, the whole change will be corrupted, and then you just destroy the whole system, but it doesn't meet your purpose. You want to change the value, you can't change it. Okay, so that is the key function: transparency. Okay, traceability and collaboration. Right? Traceability, which means that every transaction happen, you will have a record, so you can see all the historical data, what is it changed from. So this will also used very common blockchain, very common use in previously is in the supply chain. When you want to trace the food from the farm all the way to the can onto the rack in the shopping market, how will you go through in every you go through different manufacturer and supplier, and then you will actually trace where is this food come from. That makes you traceability, because everything that you change, it will write into the block. So you will know that this is come from where, and then when is it manufacturing that. Okay. And also the transparency, it makes all those data everyone can see, and actually it's easy for help to collaboration. Okay, you can work together between the farmer and the manufacturers and the end consumer. Okay, these are the one of the collaborative project ecosystem. You can actually link up everyone into the same ecosystem. Okay, so you just imagine here we'll have different people, main con, subcon, you have a bank, you have an authority, all or individual have their own system. Okay, traditional, they have their own system, they have their own database to do their own work. But now certain data could be want to share. Okay, for example, the company profile or the contractor company records. So this record can be actually right into the blockchain, and it's actually shared across all these parties. So whenever there is a changes, you actually to the company, you can write into the block and then share it across. That will be the ideal way to promote the data sharing, and also ensure that the data is accurate and valid. Okay. Yeah, why it actually important to the construction? Okay, one of it is actually the smart contract. Okay, one of the innovative way, because it actually can execute the term automatically. Okay, when you already define, you put into the algorithm, and then it will be execute based on it. So so that's why a smart contract is actually a part of code. You still require a coding, okay? But the coding is actually you can actually code your rules into the code, and then so that it can be executed. And smart contract, normally you need to both party to be agree, okay, before you can actually deploy into the blockchain network, and then you can actually execute it. So that's why here the key takeaway is actually blockchain network is actually used to store something, and the something can be data, which is the transaction record, and it can be a source code. A source code consists of the rules that you define in your contract between both parties. Then these rules actually are able to execute without changes. Once you confirm already, it always execute based on this algorithm. If you want to check 5 criteria, it will always check 5 criteria. So that is make this called a smart contract on that. Okay, so it's ensure accuracy, transparency, compliance, cost efficiency, and collaborations. So all those is the benefits on that. So although this will be the ideal way, okay, so I think some have tried to explore, but currently it's still not common use it, especially in the construction because I think because of the amount, and then everyone are still where relies on the human to check on that. Okay, but I think the concept will be moving starting slowly part by part. Okay, so I believe that eventually we will be go into these directions of that, because other industry is already started using it. Okay, so that is the smart contract works. Okay, so this is some of the scenario. Okay, so it actually supposed to be able to use into the different stages, project planning, or even a design and delivery. Okay, so all those traditional way, currently I think every stage will have, normally people will have a different solution, different system to do it day-to-day works. Okay, but some of the data, when you want to share it, you can actually put into the blockchain, and then so that you can sharing across multiple system. Okay, that also make it the data, certain sensitive data to be more secure, more traceable. Okay, so blockchain is all about transaction. Everything's happen will be right into the records. Okay, so I will just fresh out on here. Yeah, it's actually, so one of the use cases also will be streamline the procurement with the smart contract. You see the raw material, you will go through the checking, okay, to the factory. from the factory to the retail and the retail later to the construction site. All those you can actually write into the blockchain so that you can actually trace all your building material come from where, what is the raw material that is using. Yeah, but this one will need to have centralized people to governance all this data, all this thing, and that's why one of it will be supposed to be the government to introduce this whole supply chain platform so that it's increased traceability and trust. Okay, moving forward, it will be the ideal way will be the government will have a blockchain that for all the raw material suppliers will need to be integrate with the blockchain to register the raw material and then before float into the factory. So the manufacturer can also ensure that the raw material that received is actually come from a trusted party and then can validate on the raw material information before it actually get processed. And then once they process it, it actually add on the additional ISO data into the material before it go to the seller. So that is actually increase the traceability on the building material. One of it, you can see all the way from the raw material to the factory to the what are the date and that. Then because of the blockchain, you can't change the data, so you can actually see the history of the data. So if let's say there's any defect, you can actually trace back from the route all the way previously. But when you see of this, it sounds like you need to integrate with a different party. So you need to be a very credible people that actually able to pull everyone together into the same platform. That's why one of it is actually need to be government bodies or in this case will be government to keep this initialized, to kick start on this. So that's also, but I believe that Malaysia, we also heard a lot of follow up a lot of news from the Malaysian government. I think they are actually blockchain is one of the key technology that is identified for the country moving forward. So and then moving forward, you can also see a lot of government solution system projects that are actually about IoT, blockchain, all those things because they also see the importance and criticals and the benefits on it. Okay, so that is all about the blockchain on that. So hopefully it gives some ideas to everyone. Okay, so yeah, if you have any question, you can actually write into the board and then I will try the way to share a bit. So after that, later on we'll have I have more use case that is to be sharing. Okay, so but before that, currently is 9:45. Okay, just wonder should we go for short breaks or we can just continue for another topic first. The next topic will be the Internet of Things and artificial intelligence. Okay, maybe just check with the organizer. Should we go for a quick short break on that?
Yes. Hello.
Hi, organizer.
Sorry, my mic has a problems. I think yes, we can go for a short break for 5 minutes or 10 minutes.
Okay, can. So we probably come back at 9:55.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
So yeah, I see you guys later. So I think maybe so for the attendees, if you have any question, you can write it down. Or what are the more topics that you're interested to know about blockchain? Then I will try to see whether I can share more a bit of that. Okay, see you again. Okay, hi everyone. Is everyone back?
Yes, I'm back. I think all audience also back.
Okay, Ken. I see there is a few questions. Maybe I will will try to answer these few questions from the audience first before we continue. Okay, I think there's a question asking about the counting systems. There's different tax in different country. Okay, based on my understanding on your question, I think so for accounting, I think it's one of the good choice to go with blockchains because it's actually increase the trust on the records. Okay, for example, that whatever that you recorded into the accounting software system, and then once you are verified, the final values you can actually store into the every transaction that records happens in recorded, it actually can be right into the blockchain, so that every transaction you can actually trace back when did it happen, actually by who. Okay, so it's easy for the auditors to check, because I think it should be make the auditor less question on the whether it really happens or not, because how blockchain works is actually it's really need to be happen and it's actually recorded, and once there's no intervention or changes can be done on that. So it's supposed to eliminate most of the question related to the whether the transaction is genuine or not, and then really got happened this or not, who is recorded this or not. This kind of question should be eliminated from there. Okay, but I think the logic, like whether this service tax or GST or all those things, it still remains into the individual accounting software, and then different logic, all those things will be still work separately. Okay, but actually the blockchain is used to store the transaction, or actually the final value that is already happened. So that's why that is make it to be, you want to retrieve back the record you can get from there, and then you can trust the data that you retrieve it from the blockchain is valid data. I think that is the how the blockchain play the role on that. Okay, the rules is actually separately. It actually still remain into your current system. That's why just now we talk about decentralized. It's actually every people have their own system to have their own logic to control their transaction, to control their to do their day-to-day business, run their day-to-day business. That is actually no change. But it's actually the data that you final data that you want to store, you actually go into the blockchain. So that's why always all the system you always have a convention database to store your transaction data, and then the approved data is actually go to blockchain for sharing, for validation in the future, for retrieve from in the future. That will be in the blockchain on that. So that is for the blockchain in the accounting. This is what I see, because I read some document. It really some of the company is really start moving into the blockchain, and actually they actually also work together with the auditor, because supposed to be why I need to go to blockchain is supposed to be is more easy for the audit or pass on the audit, it comply to the auditor compliance in the future, and make it less questions on the whether the record is genuine or not. That's supposed to be okay. If let's say like the auditor still using the traditional way to validate everything, there's no point to go to blockchain as well. So that's why it need to be both sides need to be have a understanding and aware on this technology. I think blockchain, one of the most challenging part to implement it is actually you need people to be understand how it works, because we always say about the technology is make increased traceability and increased trust. You cannot change, but why you cannot change? A lot of outside people might not be understand. So that's why even we say that it cannot change, but they still not believe on that. That is need to be a lot of education, and also promoting this technology, and need to be more people need to talk about it, so then people will be really know that understand how it works and trust the methods that okay, that is will be the things that moving forward need to be okay. And then another question will be the block must be written whether who should write the block. The block will be actually write by the system, the applications. Okay, so the user create a transaction. For example, in the accounting, I registered, okay, I want to claim X amount of money for this items, and then for this date, for this purpose, this transaction keyed by the user, it will actually write into the system, and then it probably go into the database, traditional database first. Okay, one is get the superior to approve and confirm this transaction. Then it's actually when you do the posting, then you actually write into the blockchain. So once you write into it, that is means that this record is already stored inside there. So it's actually the system or the application code is the one to write into the block. It's not by the human. So that is how it works on that. Okay. Yeah. And then there is another question. You have mentioned a couple of times about data should modify when already shared. Correct. What if a man require contractor it can be modified without? Okay. So when I say that you cannot modify, which means that you can't change the value on the particular transaction, but if you want to change it, then you should have another transaction record to say that I want to change the previous transaction from 100 to 200. So you will have one line on that. So that is eventually the number is still reflect the latest one, but it's actually in the blockchain transaction, you can see there is actually two transactions. One is the previous, one is the most current one. Yeah, this is how the way that to change the data. Change the data is not directly go into the record and change it, but in fact, it's actually introduce another records to edit it. So it's like a accounting ledger. You pay already, you pay 10 ringgit, you pay 10 ringgit, you have this happen already. After that, you notice that, hey, actually, I supposed to pay 5 only. Then you will have another transaction to say that, okay, I take back 5 from him, something like that. So the way to build the application need to be a little bit changes. Okay, you know that need to be able to consolidate the changes to calculate on the final amount on that. That is the things that they need to be done. Yeah. Okay, it's not totally like cannot change, but you cannot change on the same record, but you need to introduce another transaction to indicate there is a change and change from what value to what value, and this will be recorded so people will know that, oh, it's really happened. But that is also good and bad. Some people will might not, when in some of the scenario, people will definitely don't want to show that I actually key in wrongly at the first place. But yeah, that is unfortunately for blockchain. That is the beauty of it. Supposed to be able to trace it back. So suppose that even you key in wrongly for the first time, you supposed to be change when you change it, then this transaction is really happen. It's like audit trail. Okay, that's why you will not want to every transaction write directly into the blockchain. You only those transactions that is already approved it or verified it, then only you write inside. Yeah, because the final one is unlikely to change, and when there is a change, it's supposed to have a reason, and this reason is need to be also need to be documented out. So that is how it works. Okay, I hope I explained all those questions. Okay, so yeah, I'm back to my sharing.
Can I ask a few questions before we
Oh,
proceed
sure.
to next?
Sure.
I'm just curious, Mr. Tan, whether the cryptocurrency can replace the fiat ringgit Malaysia and used in construction industry if all parties agree to adopt blockchain technology. I mean, if let's say everyone in the industry, all the parties in the industry, they agree to use a blockchain technology, can the cryptocurrency can be transacted between the parties?
It should be possible. It should be possible. Okay, so even I think the one of the for construction industry, one of the authority that is most suitable to push this is actually CIDB. Okay, so I believe that everyone know who is CIDB. So I think they will be, because all the contractor that is need to operate in Malaysia will need to register with CIDB. So they are the role of the CIDB to ensure that all the construction have the quality and the process in place. They will be the one of the most suitable person to push all to promote all those technology. That is one of the sharing later in my last slide is actually some of the initiative that is working with them on promoting the blockchain, but it's not in cryptocurrency. So, but I think for the crypto, before going to crypto, I think they actually previously they also are promoting on the e-wallets for the contractors, for the workers, whether to ensure that the contractors are paid to the workers, and then all those money direct go into the e-wallets, so that the workers can is more protected to ensure that their employees are paid them, and at the same time they can actually have a safer way to keep their money and transfer their money back to their home or anything. So there are already similar solution in place that we are aware, but yeah, not in crypto yet. Yeah, not in crypto yet. I think maybe it's still majority of people are not very confident with cryptocurrency. Okay, so yeah, in future it can be, because a lot of now we talk about e-banking or internet bankings and all those online payments. Yeah, one day it will be, but it need to be get regulated lah. I think that is the key things. As long as the government need to have a policy to regulate it, it will be safe for everyone. If not, then we
All right.
understand from the current trend. Okay.
I see. Another questions is it like since the land title, our land title is something that should be finalized and immutable, should it be write in the blockchains? Hello.
Can you repeat
Sorry. Yes, I think the line here is
again
a
the
bit.
question?
Yeah. I was talking about land title. Land title should be something immutable and finalized. Should it upload to blockchain's network for traceability's purpose, for transparency purpose, in your opinions?
Okay, sorry, just now I think I dropped I
Yeah,
can't
the
hear
line
you.
was bad, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I repeat again. Like, let's say if the land title should be immutable and transparent.
Yes.
I mean, land title should be finalized and transparent, immutable, right? So should it upload to blockchains for the purpose of traceability and transparency purpose?
Yes, I think that is a very good use case that it need to be done. It can be done on that. Because and this land data are supposed to be open visibilities to the public. So I think it's a good use case to leverage on the blockchain, and then to record it down, so that you have a trust there, and then actually also available to the public, so everyone who need to make use of the land, need to get information, can get from there as well. Yeah. So I think yeah, this is a very good use case on that. But I believe that the question will be back to the government, how ready they are how willing they are to share, to make this thing available to the public, and how easy they want the public to access it. That will be back to the policy things. Yeah. Yeah. In anyone got a chance to work with the land office, is one of the things that we can explore and you can discuss with them. Yeah. Yes,
Right.
it's actually there is a benefit on that.
Okay, I think we can move on to the next topic, which is the Internet of Things. All right.
Okay, Ken. So for the upcoming topic, Internet of Things, I will be quickly go through a bit on that. I think just to let everyone aware on this technology, because I will put more time into the use case on the blockchain that I said earlier later, because I have a few use case we can share to everyone. I think, yeah. So I quickly go through the Internet of Things and also the AI. which are already prepared in the slide, so I just quickly go through on that. Yeah, I think Internet of Things is to refer to the it's talk about connecting all the physical device into the internet, regardless the device are the big or small. Nowadays, everyone will need to monitor things real time. So as long as the place there is an internet and we can put in the devices into this physical device, then I think everyone will hope to link up all the devices and get the real-time data from that. So that is all about Internet of Things that they're talking. So it's actually connecting the world to record, monitor, and adjust or interact with react with the real situations on that. Okay, it's actually suitable for consumer and also enterprise. Both are actually use it day to day. Even the consumer, like every one of us, I think some of it was we are wearing the iWatch. Then it's actually getting the health data from time to time, and then give you a report and also advise you what you should need to be aware and control on that. Some you might not know. For example, a very simple example is like the number of steps that you are walking every day. So unconsciously they record down every step, and at the end of the day you will be surprised, oh, today I walked so much already. That is one of it. And then but for the enterprise, there's more useful data that we can get from that. So if we're able to monitor on the data, then we can react immediately rather than the end of the month we get the consolidated data, or actually we get people to update us, then only we know what is happened on the site. Okay, that will be a bit slow already. Okay, so yeah, how this it works basically, there will be a lot of device. Let's talk about devices that you need to install, and then you need to have an internet connected link up, and then so that you can get the data, send it back. So all those data need to be useful, and then we can process it and then analyze it. Okay, so yeah, so there are always, when IoT always talk about 3 steps: collect data, process it, and then put it into the analytic way, or the way that people easily to see and react. Normally will be a dashboard. Okay, but now will be on the mobile apps. So as a boss or project manager, you will need to be get notified when anything happens. Okay, so this is how things works, collecting data, and then I think the biggest challenge here is actually collecting data in the IoT world, because not every way is suitable to install devices, especially like, for example, in the construction site. Then internet connectivity signal is one thing, and then sometimes it's actually exposed to the rain, to the sun, and then it's another challenges to put heavy duty devices inside there. And if there is those heavy duty device that is can put inside there to record data, and then it come back to the cost and benefits, whether the investment is actually big enough or not, the benefit is actually big enough or not to cater for the cost that they need to pay on that. So that also something that people are trying to balance it on that. But nowadays technology is getting cheaper and cheaper, so I think moving forward is really a lot of things can be in place to monitor and track data. Okay, so data send it up, it can be in doing the processing. So now it's all talk about cloud. So all the data that is sent, because now when you talk about collecting all those real-time data, right, the data is a lot. The data is a lot. You cannot use the traditional database way to store the data. Normally, people will be stored into the cloud, more lower cost of storage, because all this data you supposed to be collected, you process already, then you will come up with the insight data. So the real data you probably won't be accessing it so frequent. So you will actually, there is other option in the cloud that you can store those data. Okay, so there is a lot of storage in the cloud, different type of storage, which is lower cost, but actually insufficient for you to store those transaction data. Okay, for example, you want to record the temperature at the site, it's actually go down to every minute. So just imagine every minute you will have a record, and from a multiple device, there is a lot of data. So this data, if you store into the conventional database, it will be cost you a lot. But in the cloud, there are certain low level storage that you can just store it, and then whenever you need, then you retrieve it. If not, then you will be stored into different way. So that is how you're processing the data. And then once you've done it, then you will need to have a more interactive and attractive user eye or dashboard to present it, so that, and also the alarm to be set, so that it actually make things more interactive, and the management team will be aware of what is happening. That is actually attract them to be more willing to invest back into the whole technology to get more things out. So I think how to display the data in a useful way is one of the things that the IoT teams are always work on that as well. Okay, so how does it help in construction industry? Basically, a lot of way that you can put in, like machine control. You need to monitor all your machine, whether your track, where is it, whether the machine is working or not, is useful or not, or actually being people moved into other places. All those things you can actually track on that. Site monitoring, you can monitor on the progress on the site. You can have a CCTV that is installed there, and then you can real time looking at the progress. And then like freight management, you can track all your transportation, where are they going, whether they can stop halfway and then unload some of the building material or not. So those can be tracked on that. Okay, so yeah, this is some of the use case that they use AI, IoT. Okay, I will not go into details, but I just flash out the screen on that. Okay, fleet management to track on all those tracking on the transportations. Okay, wearable is one of the currently I think most common one. We are actually one of the sharing that we do before is actually the wearable. Here means one of it is the AR or VR glasses, where you can wear your glasses. The glass in front has a screen, and the screen you can see certain thing inside. Okay, so one of the things solution that we developed before is actually the defects for the defect system, where actually for the developers or the site project site team to go and check on the defect on the construction building. Okay, traditional way they were using the mobile apps to record all the defect that they see, but now with the wearables they actually can move around, make use of the camera in front of the glasses to capture the crack, the problems, or actually record down some of the actual situation, like this, let's say like leaking. You can actually record for the 5 or 10 minutes kind of videos, and then it's actually immediately can be put into the apps installed in the camera in the glasses, and then you can actually sync it back to the servers. Okay, this will help people to do the site inspection easily. Okay, and also you can use the voice control to trigger the buttons. So when you're walking, you actually from time to time you want to retrieve certain things. For example, you come into the house and then you see there is a crack. Then you want to make a report. You can just use a voice control to say, okay, I want to create new defect, so that immediately in your screen they will come up. In your glasses, it will come up. Okay, what is the problem? Then you can use your voice to say, okay, there is a crack here. So it actually convert your voice into the text and then store it. And then after that, you can say take a picture. You can take a picture, and then all this is actually become one of the defect case that is captured and then send it back. So that is one of the things that we did before, and then we did pilot it as well. So that is one of the use case that you can do it. Okay, so that the good thing is the two hand is still free. You still can do other things. You still can turn on anything to check. While when you want to record down, you don't need to use your hand already, because your hand could be dirty. But your glasses, and you can use your voice to control and record down all the problem that you found on that. That is one of the how to use the variable to capture data and then send it back to the servers of that. Yeah. But one of the challenges that we also found that is actually the glasses will have certain amount of heat even when you turn on for like a long period of time, for example, let's say like half an hour, it will be a little bit of heat that you might feel uncomfortable. And then second thing is actually now the glasses, with the glasses technology, although it's considered very light, but it's still heavier than the normal glasses lah. So a lot of people might not be used to that on the glasses as well. Yeah, so that is something that the hardware should have a breakthrough. We believe that eventually it will be getting smaller and smaller, less power required, so it will be less heat that is created, and people will be way more comfortable on that. So then eventually it will suitable to apply into the more usage in the construction site, we believe. Okay, that is some of the sharing that I can based on our experience we tried before. It will not heavily roll out, okay, due to the two limitation that I mentioned. Yeah, but it's actually good enough to be used in certain area, certain places on that. Okay, so we also see the future there will be a more IoT sensor that can put into the workers appearance. Okay, so it's actually help to monitor and send and provide safety to the workers on the construction site. Okay, and yeah, benefits on that. You can use it for the project tracking. That is the most common one to increase the efficiency. Waste is actually one of the topic that is talked about when you're recording everything. Then you will be able to manage your waste. Okay, and then preventive maintenance is the one that is helpful. Okay, and when you have a sensor, anything that will trigger you before the things broke down on that. Okay, so this is some of the tracking that available. I'm not going into detail on that. Basically, it's actually to help to reduce project costs and improve the safety. I think is also very important. Okay, and also facilitate project management. Maintenance, preventive maintenance can be an area to use the IoT to make use of that. Okay, waste management with the monitoring. Okay, you can actually react and control on that. Without monitoring, you will not know how much usage at the site. Okay, that is IoT. And then machine learning is actually once you have a data, then once we have a data collected from the IoT, we need to make use of the data, and how smart we make use of the data. That is the artificial intelligence AI come into it. It can be AI can be a very complicated things. It can be also some simple logic that actually help the people solving a problem by recognize the pattern on that. So that is the history on the AI. I will not go into detail on that. Okay, and there is a lot of technique inside the AI. Okay, and yeah, this one so there will be artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning. There is a different levels on that. Okay, the deep learning will be more able to self-learn by the machine and then to react to the users. Okay, so this will see that how the machine learning works from the past data. You gather the data, you train it, and then you use it. So one of the things that machine learning, how it works is you can train the machine to learn something. So one of the example that we show to people is actually how to recognize the pictures. So when you want the machine to able to recognize a picture, for example, a nasi lemak, so you can actually take 1,000 of the different kind of nasi lemak photos, upload into the cloud, and then you choose the AI API to train the AI. You come up with a model. Once you train it, you come up with a model, and the model is actually learning from all these 100 pictures of nasi lemak. So when you show another kind of picture, then the system will actually able to tell you that, okay, this is a nasi lemak, or this is 80% look like a nasi lemak, or if not, then it will be, oh, this is other thing. So the same thing can apply into the construction. When you want to differentiate some of the things, you can actually train the AI model to learn and then to help him to help you differentiate recognize in the future products. Okay, so for example, I think they actually have you can take a photo, multiple photo monitoring on the project, the building progress, and then from time to time, then it's actually learn. So from there, they can actually report you the progress on the project. That is one of the use case as well. Okay, that is something that the machine learning of AI can place, although they are more scenario that can be used. Okay. Okay, so this deep learning, okay, this will not be some of the statistic. I will not go into detail. I think probably I will jump back to the use case that I prepare. Okay, and the separate slide. Now it's really 10:30. Let me do a quick share on some of the R&D use case that we have done before. I think this looks more interesting. Okay, so one of the blockchains that we use in construction for the e-tender is the e-tender with the blockchain. Okay, this is because our own solution is actually tenders and claims or solutions, project management. So one of the things that we actually R&D currently is the R&D way to apply blockchain into it is one of it is the tender, because construction a lot of people submit tender day to day, and then those tender data is actually very important, and we need certain trust on that. That's why when you submit the tenders, once the user submitted already, all those amount will be stored into the blockchain. So once it's stored in the blockchain, easy for the developers to do the comparison, to do the award on the contract. But and also we also can ensure that the data that we submitted is actually nobody is change on that in between or tampered the data. Okay, so it's actually increase the fairness or the trust to everyone. So with that, everyone will be we know that we participate tender in this system is actually fair, because nobody can be intercept the data, go into in between to change the data. Okay, that is one of the use case that is actually can apply the blockchain, but it doesn't mean that the data you cannot change is actually definitely cannot do anything, because it just ensure that the e-tender is conducted in the proper way. For example, that if let's say there is any revision or change on the pricing, by right you should go through a tender addendum or second revision. You can open to the shortlisted people to resubmit the price again. It's not just directly go and change the value and then just to make the comparison looks better. So that is something that we want to prevent on that. Okay, so blockchain will be one of the way to increase the trust by all the tenderer as well. Okay, another one is actually the site monitoring with IoT. This is to actually to connect to all the CCTV at the site and then to show the progress on the site. Okay, so with that traditional way, everyone will just show the photos and the video on the site and then publish it in the dashboard for the management to see from the head office. What we are trying to do is to also have the AI to actually recognize on the pictures and then to report out the progress from time to time, because the same place we are actually capturing the photo from the same location, but when there is more things happen in the location, there is where we can report on the progress at the site, whether it's moving or not, or actually already stagnant there for us some time. That is also one of the things that AI can put in place together with the IoT. Okay, that is another things that we actually in our R&D as well. Okay, and then cost estimation is also one of the big interesting thing. Is we can actually integrate with BIM to extract out all the bill of quantity, the item into the BQ. This can help on the QS to have more accurate on the calculate on the BQs. Okay, and also currently we also R&D on the from the BIM to extract all the component into for the facility management, because because now I think government project, I think above certain amount of values you will need to be BIM and the BIM will share in the level 500s, and 500 is including all the even the furnitures, the equipment, the machines that is installed into the building. And then all these things information it will be able to import out into the facility management, so that upcoming the FM contractor can have all those data to do the maintenance, preventive maintenance, or the replacement. They can find back all this data. So that is something that we also working on. That is also a lot of with the AI technology inside to able to understand and analyze, auto link up the diagram with the PQs or the data on that. Okay, and the last one will be the use case on the blockchain on the contract award. Okay, contract award is also something that when we get certified, I think this amount is waiting for payment, and all those value will need to be ensured that it's actually not able to be changed or tempted. Okay, so that is also another place that we would apply on the blockchain. So we also increase the traceability because the certification is involved a few party. We have the architect, we have the engineers, we have the contractors, okay, and then so different people will come and update the claim from different time. So all those audit trail will be a good place to store into the blockchain, so that even in future the auditor will come and check everything. They can refer back to the audit trail in the blockchain. So that is similar to the accounting. Yeah, all those transactions or audit trail can recorded in the blockchain will give a trust to the auditor as well. Yeah. Okay, so this will be. Yeah. I think these are the few things that we are actually in our own product. We are actually working on that. We haven't live it, so but it's something that we believe that it helps to promote our platform. So we actually also work on that. Once it's ready, then we actually will announce to our clients as well. Okay, and the last one on my sharing is actually one of the project that is we are actually working together with PIDB Malaysia, which is the digital certificates. Okay, this is actually trying we will because PIDB they actually conduct a lot of training to the contractor. That's one thing. At the same time, they also each have their own academy to certify contractor for certain skills. That's why there is a lot of certification that they are issuing to the construction company. So all these certificate we actually suggest them to be issued into the blockchains networks, so that they can actually increase the trust on the certificate. Okay, so what is the trust that we want to deliver is actually increase the trust and credibility on the digital cert. So a certificate is actually you can actually once you issue the cert, there is a proper way for people to validate whether this certificate is a genuine or not. Okay, without like you just use the Photoshop to print it out and then you change your others company name to your own company name. There's no way to verify on that. So now with the blockchains or digital certificates, you can actually verify on the certificate. Normally, the certificate will come with a QR. So for you to scan and you can actually validate the certificate and the company that awarded is really your company or not. And actually, it will increase the accountability on this digital certificate, because it's not just store the certificates is belong to who, but it's actually recording all the historical records, including when the company registered into this certification, when they attend the training, who they are sending to, and then once they are completed the training, okay, including if there's a certain test that they need to pass before they get the certificate. All those transactions will be recorded, and when you scan the certificates, you actually have all the history on that. This will also make the company even being trust, because they really go through the like 5 5 day or 2 weeks kind of courses before they can able to get these certificates. Okay, so the whole architecture will be like there will be a few party. There is a training institute that is actually holding the data, okay, issue the certificates and also the database. So you can see the whole digital portal, there will be a traditional conventional database, which I mentioned just now. Always the system will still have remain their own database, conventional way, but certain data important for here is the certificate will actually write into the blocks in the blockchain. So this data will actually replicate into a few environment, so that in this case there are 3 environment have the same copy on the certificates. Okay, so when people want to verify the certificate, is actually come to the CIDB site to verify whether the certificate is genuine or not. But the training is actually updated into the training system to issue the certificate. So once you issue a certificate will replicate into other places or the system, and then when people CIDB want to validate the certificate before want to renew your license, it can actually validate from here. And external people who want to validate whether this certificate is valid or not, they can actually have another portal for public to validate. So that is how the system design, and then how multiple nodes is required for the blockchain, and how to ensure that the blockchain's data is secure. Because even today, if you hack into this system, you corrupt on the node 1, the data still will be available in 2 and 3, and then you can easily reset up the node 1. The data can be automatically synced back from the nodes number 3 or number 2 back into here. So even you try to corrupt an instance, and then immediately I can actually restore it into back to the working one. So basically you can't do that as well. Okay, that is the in terms of the architecture design on the blockchain. And what is actually able to increase the trust is actually the certification process and with the smart contract. Like for example here, every time when you register a workshop, there will be a registered date that is recorded into the blockchain. So when your people come to attend the training, you can actually register it. When is your check-in time and check-out time? If let's say this is a 5-day event, every day you need to check in and check out, and then all those transaction record is actually recorded into the blockchain as well. And then the certification and approval, when it's being approved and certified, there is a date timestamp recorded, and all those right into the blockchain will have a contract ID. So eventually, when you want to verify this certificate, you will know that okay, these developers, this contractor, when they really registered by themselves, by who, when they are coming, when they are attending, they got attend all the classes or not, or they actually just didn't come out and just register and get the cert. So from here, you will ensure that they really need to come in and attend the training before they can get the certificates. And all these rules for approving an issue, you can do it in the smart contract, which means that you need to ensure that there is a registration date, there is a check-in and check-out, and then you need to be the check-in and check-out must be more than 8 hours. Then only you will consider you attend the training before you can issue the certificate without a human going to check. Okay. At the same time, you will ensure that everyone is doing follow the rules on that. So that is the how you can apply the smart contract into it to ensure that the certificate that you issue is really trustable, got credibility, because the smart contract enforce the company must attend. You cannot be simply just registered yourself and then you didn't come, somebody help you to sign, and then you get the certificate. You can't do that. Yeah, that is the beauty on the blockchain with the smart contract. You can enforce that. That will make the certificate, people will be more valued on that. Yeah, so this is the POC that we work with CIDB, and yeah, so currently it's still ongoing. Hopefully one day it will be rolling out. So yeah, that is some of the interesting things that we share on that. So we also do a pro and cons on that. It's actually convention system. Yes, you still can issue the certificates, but it's in a physical copy. You can't you can't have the audit trails to show that, track that all the whole certificate process, and also give trust to people. So the digital blockchain and the digital certificates and the smart contract will actually increase the accountability and build trust and on the certificate that you are issued on that. Yeah, so that is the thing. Yeah, basically that's all the sharing that I have. Okay, for today. Hopefully, it's something interesting to everyone. And yeah, so far, yeah, the last 20 minutes, I think I will open for the floor for your question, Q&A. Yeah, thank you. Okay, back to you, organizer.
Thank you, Mr. Tan, for your wonderful sharings and about the blockchains, IoT, and AI. It's very impressive. All right, so we open the questions to the floor. Right now, there are still no new questions yet. We welcome the questions. Mr. Tai Wei Yao say just wish to say thank you. All right.
Okay, no problem.
All right, if let's say there's no questions, I might ask some questions to Mr. Tan.
Sure.
Regarding the IoT.
Okay.
Just now, because we are engineers, right? Engineers has a lot of data to capture at site. Mr. Tan mentions about the cloud storage compared to conventional storage. So it will be more beneficial if, let's say, IoT devices capture the data in terms of cloud storage, but not on conventional storage, right? Maybe can you further elaborate this? Because I don't really understand it well.
Yeah, because traditional database, it's all about you need to have a data schema, which means that you can, let's say like you are this transaction, you will need to be 5 columns. Okay, you need 5 columns. Every data you store into the very structured way. Where I think IoT data capture is actually from multiple devices and then different kind of format of the data. It call it an unstructured method. So all those is actually in a pure text and then in a different kind of format. So then we will normally it will be go into the cloud storage where there is the different kind of database, but it's actually cater for unstructured data. So that is make the data right into the cloud more faster and then more easier. Okay, and then there will be an AI machine learning things come and read the data and process it. Yep. And this data based in the cloud is actually ready to store unstructured data. That is one thing. Second is actually it will be more cost effective because it's actually they don't expect you to be retrieve it very frequently. Yeah, so that's why the cost of the storage is very low. Okay, because you normally it just need to be write fast because your IoT devices every minute you actually pump in the data inside already. So once you have a data, then you will have a scheduled time. Okay, for example, every hours I will come into this data, I retrieve it, I process it, and then I come up with the insight. Then this data technically I will be probably just leave it there already. So that kind of storage you will go with the cloud storage. There are different kind of name of the storage depend on your requirement, but yeah, it's actually different with the convention database, where convention database is ready for always you always need to be write in and then you always try to retrieve and then always very high frequency, then you come back to the database. But for IoT, it will be actually stored into the cloud in a different database, which is actually ready for the IoT. There is such this kind of technology, different kind of database. It's ready for capture unstructured data, but it's still able to extract the data out. For example, the temperature devices, you will have different model, different model, different devices. When they send the record, some will give you this format, and another one will give you another format. But eventually, you just need to, for every transaction, you just want to get the timing and also get the temperature value, these two records. The rest you probably don't want it. So all those data you can actually just dump it into the cloud, and then you will have the AI processing to come in and then recognize each of the line. Okay, I want the date and temperature. I extract these two information out only. That is how it works now.
That means it is searchable and retrievable, the important data that we want, right? If let's say we upload to cloud.
Yes, correct.
I see. That is the benefit of using IoT.
Right. Yes, correct. And also in cloud, also they will allow you to have a concurrently, you will have a few hundred devices writing data into it. So it will be more faster. Because traditional database, you will be need to record. Eventually, it still record one by one go inside. So you still will be slower in terms of 1,000 milliseconds. But because of devices, it's a lot. Then you will still see it won't be so fast compared with the cloud. It's scalable. Concurrently, everywhere data come into the same pool.
I see. All right, we have some questions from engineers Ng Kok Peng. He is asking, to what extent has the Malaysian construction industry embraced digitalizations?
I think nowadays, many company, many construction is really started using it. I think traditional, previously most of started to use software is actually the architect, I think, to drawing, all those things. But nowadays, many people are start to use it for the project management, day-to-day operations. Okay, even previously everyone will conventionally use Excel. Nowadays, it's already moved to the cloud solution, and then need to be everyone submit online. It's already getting more and more popular on that. Okay, even for us, like some of the key developers, they also actually go, the project management go online, and then like the home buyer, the home defect, facility management, all those will be all in system already. We will expect to be more and more people to be coming on board. Even we see one of the many listed company, especially in the construction or the developers, one of the key things that they can prove to the investor is actually they are actually moving to digitalization. They have a digitalization transformation department into each of the developers, okay, to show that they are really move forward on that. I think that also one of the key criteria to attract investor to invest your company if you are have the plan to go digital transformation, because that is where we know that the company are doing things in a proper way, more efficient way, and also people will be able to trust on you. So that is one of the, I believe that it will be moving towards that. And then even the government, I think in the even the previous budget and the current budget, we will also see there is a grant put in place into encourage people to go digitalization. Okay, that is why one of the key project that we are working very close with CIDB to promote the digitalization transformation. Okay, to help the contractor to bring them up into the technology adoption. We actually not just looking on the big guys, but we actually also want to work together with CIDB to help on the small contractors, those G1, G2, and G3 contractors where they are very lack of the technology, but they really need it. So for example, like many of them are still doing the submission of tenders or doing the quotation are all in the Excel and then or Microsoft Words. So probably the first one step they should do is actually to go into the e-invoicing and then do it in electronic way, so that more standardized, and then able to consolidate into reports. At the same time, website is actually very important for each of the contractors. Okay, although it sounds really simple, but we still, based on the statistics from the CIDB, they are still like 95% of the contractors do not have a website. Okay, that is make the business very difficult to do because you can't really validate this company. You don't know what is the project track record that they have, and then that is another thing that when they go digitalization, first step they need to be have a website, start using the system to issue the invoicing, quotation, start using system to track on the inventory. Okay, before they qualify to work with the big guys like the developers and to do the online tendering, online claim, they need to be, I think step-by-step journey need to be in place. Yeah. So true, I think, but government have an initiative putting in grant to support, and then I think the privates will see the importance of that, even the investor. So I think it will be moving faster on the digitalization transformation.
Right. Maybe I just add on engineers Ng's questions, maybe in terms of the cost perspective. Let's say all the contractors, all the industry players adopts the digitalizations, will it be a cost impact to the players in Malaysia?
The cost impact will be long run you won't see significant, or even now. That's back into the first presentation slide I shared. Most of the software now is going to the software as a service model, subscription based. So subscription based, which means that you do not need to have a heavy investment. For example, last time you want to implement a certain solution, you need to be invest 1 or 2 million to develop, to customize the system, and then to try it out. And then after 6 months down the road, you notice that, hey, this is not suitable to me. Then you probably lost the initial investment. But now, because of the subscription base, you normally will be subscribed with a small package, paid by month, or at least maybe a few months for commitment, and then you can have your pilot project to be go in place. So with that, you can actually grow it from time to time. So your loss will not be, your starting cost will not be very high. That is first thing. And then even if failed, you will not lose a lot. But if let's say it's really benefit is, then I think the benefit will actually able to justify on the cost that you are using, because it's still subscription. The development cost normally will be shared across the whole platform user. So everyone will pay for the usage plus a little bit on the solution, the developments. So the cost of the software currently will be getting lower and lower. That is also one of the things makes the many company more easy to adopt on the solution. Important, I think, because we know that the soft solution, if let's say it works, it really help to justify on the cost that it really cover back your cost. It's just like most of the time people will not know that whether the solution I develop is suitable for me to use or not. Second is whether my people able to follow or not. So that's why SaaS is actually a good place for them to try with the team. Actually, maybe later the team will be feedback and we are not ready, we are processes, we are still prefer go back to manual. Then you just terminate so you won't lose. But at least you give a try. But based on our observation, once you started, you will not stop it. Yeah, you can normally it will be moving on. That is why the SaaS platform come in place. They believe that when the user use it and then used to it and see the benefits, they will actually, the tolerance level will be increased, and then they will be continue using it.
Yes, with the productivities that brought by the technologies, that is the worth investments.
Yes, correct.
All right, we have another. All right, we have another question from engineers Heng Aichao. He mentions that how many projects have been implemented using your service? Can give some real life example.
Okay. For the project management, our own company, we are specialized on the project management for tenders and also the claim, and also the defects, site inspection, all those. Currently, yes, it's being implemented already. There are a few big developers in the markets is already using it. Yep, and also the contractors, there are, I think, more than hundreds of the main contractors are using partial of the modules, okay, because they need to work together with the developers. So that's why it's already proven to be the contractor are able to use it for their day-to-day operation on that. And back to our another collaboration I mentioned just now with the CIDB, which is the digitalization of the contractor. That is actually we are successfully also implement it for I think more than 120 200 contractors to go digitalization. That is also thanks to the previous budget. There is a grant in place which is a 50% subsidized for them. So a lot of contractors already start up their website and then use the system to do e-invoicing. All those things is also already in place. So this year the budget will be coming back. So I think we will be definitely expect more and more contractors to be go on board on this platform together with the CIDB promotions pushing on that. That is another thing. So, but back to the, I think the topic today, we actually talk about the blockchain on this. That is currently we're still in the R&D. We actually develop it, but it will not be immediately become a selling point, okay? But make this until a more stable and actually more noticeable change, then only we will be promoting this. But for us, we know this is a good thing. That's why we already start building into our own platform. Yeah, for the audit trail and traceability on that. But I think we will not shout it to the public yet because we also believe that currently still need a lot of education works to do to let people understand on the blockchain, how it works, how really it actually promote trust and traceability. Yeah. So hope this answer your question.
Right. So far, is there any questions? There's no extra questions. All right, maybe I ask Mr. Tan regarding the blockchains for construction e-tender that you have presented just now. If let's because we have in constructions we have a lot of stages. We have prelim stages, we have design stages, we have tender stages. So in this system, can this capture all these changes, or is it a finalized versions? How does it work? Because there are so many revisions coming out.
For start, we are actually capturing on the action that you are is actually happen. For example, every submission we are use the blockchain to store all the audit trail, what you have done, when you submitted, what are the number of files that you submitted. But the actual file we will not store into the blockchain. We actually put into other storage. But at least that we know that you are actually submitting by when and then how many files that you have submitted. So that is some of the key information, important things we will lock it down. So in future, if there is any dispute, we can actually refer back to the blockchain data to see that at that time he really submitted on this date, and then these are the file that is submitted. But the file is they cannot say that okay, previously you already submit but you didn't give an empty file because it's already on the audit trail stated that you already submitted that. And then same go to those tender amount. We will store the final amount that you submitted, okay? But each of the transaction data we will not store in yet, okay? Yeah, that is we start with those final data and also the action that is happened. So this is actually the main focus now is actually help to answer the audit question, to make sure that everything is compliant to the audit and the processes. Yeah, which means the processes is actually recorded in the blockchain. But the actual data, we will not go into the blockchain yet because when there's really too much of data on that.
I see.
Yeah.
That means it's the metadata, the submission date, the author, the revision date.
I think you can treat it as the audit trail, lor. Audit trail, audit log. Audit log, yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Which is useful for audit purpose.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
All
Because
right.
conventional system, traditional system also should have, most of the time they also have audit trail, you can check back. But this audit trail can be easily deleted and nobody know. Okay, that's why we will try to promote it. Audit trail will be in the blockchain, so that we know that nobody can delete on that. Yeah,
I see.
although it's come with cost, but yes, it will still worth to invest on that.
So in these e-tendering systems, can we see the competitor price? Because blockchains promotes transparencies. Can we see like?
That is actually no. You can actually encrypt the data before you store it in. Okay, so you encrypted the data already. So in the blockchain, you won't see the amount, but you see the encrypted amount. So to prove that this amount is actually not tendered, so when the tender open that time, that amount, when you want to verify this amount being changed or not, you can always encrypt the amount that you see, compare with the encrypted amount in the data in the blockchain. Then you will see both are the same or not. If let's say they are different, which means that this amount is already been tampered, that is one of the way to validate the data. Yeah, but you can actually because blockchain you can store data in a different any format. You can choose to be the raw data, or you can choose to encrypt the data. Yeah. So some of the time people will use the data to be the encrypted data to be verified back with the data that you see on the system.
This means we cannot see other competitor price. We only can see our price, and it is
Yeah, the
encrypted.
coin tender, before the tender close, then you can't see it. After the tender open, then probably you will see. But this blockchain, you also can set who you want to share to. Normally will be the developer side. For example, this tender is called from the developer. Developer have the access to see that, but you still can restrict from the tenderer to see. All those can be you can be developed based on the different requirements.
I see.
Yeah, but when let's say like there is a challenge from the dispute or challenge from the tenderer, and then at least the developer side they can actually prove that they can open it and prove that. If let's say there is no challenge, probably they don't want to share it to the public, they still can choose don't want to share. Yeah. But when the auditor come and question them the process, when the fairness, then they can actually show, at least they got the proof to show.
I see. All right. So far, do we see any questions? Yeah. There's no more questions. So by right, we should end on 11, right?
Yes, correct.
All right. So the time has reached. Okay. We thank
Okay.
you on behalf of Urban Engineering Development Special Interest Groups. We would like to thank Mr. Tan for your valuable sharings in terms of the future trends, upcoming technologies. So Malaysia still has far to embrace these digitalizations, and hopefully engineers are benefited from these revolutions and benefited from your sharings. All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Tan.
Thank you, everyone.
All right, okay,
See you
bye.
again. Bye bye.
Bye.